Hi everyone, it's Frank. I'm making this flip lesson video for the third lesson in week 2. You have to watch it before you came to our class tomorrow. Let's first look at this slide. It will tell you what we are going to do in this video. I'm going to demonstrate the whole process of printmaking, including traditional and contemporary printmaking. There is a technique you need to focus, which is the transferring technique, because you are going to use it in the class tomorrow. At the same time, in the class and post-class, we are also going to do some discussion, practice, and evaluation. Okay, let's begin.
I'm going to start with the traditional printmaking. We have a lot of tools and materials. The first one is a piece of wood. You can also use a block of wood. It's up to you. We are going to carve on it. We also need to use carving tools. We have bigger one, we have smaller ones. If you look carefully, you can see this is a U tool. It can help you create channels. It can help you also clean up the background. If you look this one, it's a V tool. We can use it to create details, such as the sharp edges and fine lines. I've got a piece of transfer paper. It can help to transfer the design on the wood. When you are going to print, you need ink. This is a color-based ink. It's easy to clean up. You also need a roller, which can help you roll out the ink. Apart from these basic tools and materials, you also need a candle, sandpaper, a spoon, and a bigger one, which is iron. I'm going to show you how to use this later on. The first step of traditional printmaking is to wax the wood. Because the wood is so hard, if you directly carve on it, it doesn't work, You can't get the fine lines and sharp edges. So we need first use the sandpaper to set the surface, to get a perfect even surface. Then you need to use the candle to rub some wax on it. Make a even thin wax layer. Remember, we have iron. Heat up your iron and use it to melt the wax. Get it into the wood. The wood will become softer. It's very easy to carve. If you don't have the iron, you can use something from the kitchen. It's very lovely, and I'm going to show you. Let's go to the kitchen. Okay, first you need to turn on your stove or the electric heater and put a pan on it to heat up the pan. When you are waiting for the pan, you need to rub some candles, some wax on the surface of the wood. Make an even wax layer. Okay, put it on here. And when the pan becomes hotter, you can just directly put it on the surface of the wood. The wax will be melted and get into the wood. You need to repeat this process for several times. Okay, I believe it's ready for us to carve, to transfer our design on the surface. Before transfer your design on the surface, you need to color the surface. In this case, after you carve the surface, the wooden color will come out, and the area you haven't carved will, remain the blue color. It's very easy to see and identify. Okay, leave it aside to dry. It's time for you to decide which symbols and sign or emojis from your folio you want to transfer on the surface of the wood. This is my folio, and you can see I have collected some original symbols. And I'm going to go with the emoji. Maybe I'm going to go with the hand. Actually, I have printed one, and I'm going to transfer this on the wood. The first thing you need to do is get a wood, make sure it's dry. Put the transfer paper on the wood and then put the picture on the top. Use your left hand and hold it. Then you need to use a pen and trace give it a little bit pressure. It can make the mark pretty clear. Okay, it's done. Remove the paper and you get the hands. Next step, carving. I'm not going to give you too many details about carving because next lesson we are going to do another video help you to learn different kinds of carving techniques. For this time, you just enjoy my carving. Okay, this is my hand and it's ready to print, but let's just leave it aside. We are going to teach you how to make contemporary printmaking. Basically, the contemporary printmaking use tools and materials the same as the traditional one, such as a carving tool, roller, spoon, ink, and transfer paper. One thing is different. Instead of using a block of wood or piece of wood, we are going to use eraser. It's flexible and it's inexpensive, easy to get one, and easy to carve. You don't need to wax it, and you can directly put some color on it and start to transfer. You can use the same technique to transfer the image on the eraser. Also, if you don't have the transfer paper, and you can use this technique, you need a pencil and sketch the back of your symbol. The darker the better. Then you put it on the eraser. Make sure it's in the middle of the eraser. Hold it, and you are going to use a pen to trace the hand. You can see we've got our clear mark, and we are going to repeat the carving process. Enjoy. It's very easy to carve because the eraser is soft and flexible. You don't need to put too much pressure on it. So I think it's time for us to print, and we are going to squeeze a little bit ink on this board and use our roller to roll it out. Don't spread it too much, just make a square, unless you will waste too much ink. When you see there is a thin layer of the color on the roller, you can roll it on the plate. Then you need a piece of paper. It's better to use watercolor paper, but this is just a normal paper. Put it on it. Hold it you can use your finger to print, but don't forget our spoon. Yeah, use our spoon, the back of a spoon, to rub it. Peel off the paper and remove your print. Okay, you can see there are some details on it, but I'm happy with that. It's great. It's done. It's time for you to do some work. Let's go back to our slide.
I leave 3 questions for you. You need to give answers to these 3 questions and post the answer in our forum. Tomorrow we are going to discuss your responses. Okay, happy printmaking. See you tomorrow.